September 18th. It feels like we're coming in on the home stretch of this. Hi, my name is Tony, and I am walking tonight as I have for the 17 nights before this in September, because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And after a 4-year fight with neuroblastoma, my 7-year-old son Sam passed away January 23rd, 2020. And so every day this month, in his memory, I'm walking 3/4 of a mile, the distance between the Ronald McDonald House in New York City and Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and back, where he spent the last 6 months of his treatment. And we're trying to raise awareness around pediatric cancer and raise some funds for Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, which is a great organization that helps not only with research grants and playing what I call the long game when it comes to cancer, trying to find better treatments, cures, etc. But then also, the fight against cancer has a short game too. It's going to be a long time before we have those cures or that better treatment. And so the families that are still fighting today, or will even be fighting tomorrow, they need support too. And so Alex's Lemonade Stand has a lot of programs to help them with those things. My daughter Emmy is a member of their Super Sibs program, which provides activities and information for siblings of kids who are going through pediatric cancer. They helped us with our airline tickets and some other stuff. I think one thing I haven't mentioned that we almost were using but never got a chance to, there are a ton of pediatric cancer studies all over the country, and they're all very specific about who they're aiming to help. And so one of the services that Alex's Lemonade Stand provides for families fighting pediatric cancer is a study match program. So, a lot of times these kids will go from one study to another, and the study that they're on just may not solve the problem. Sam is a case in point, right? And so it's a question of, okay, well, where do we go from here? And it's hard to do all that research and find out, what studies are running, what stage are they in, etc. What are the factors that could disqualify you from that study? There are some treatments that if you've had one treatment, you disqualify for another. And so it's nice to have an organization that can kind of coordinate for that for you. We were kind of looking into that when Sam developed tumors at the end, and just didn't end up getting there, I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about, I've been thinking a lot about the message that I'm putting out there with this thing. And we've talked a lot about the hard stuff and the sad stuff. But one thing that I always try to bear in mind is that, we've had some pretty amazing blessings as we went through this fight too. Most among them was the amount of time that we did get to spend with Sam. Having those 4 years from diagnosis to death, they were hard. They were a hard 4 years. We were deep in the fight against pediatric cancer, but at the same time, there's a lot of amazing memories in there as well. And just, little moments where he would smile about something secret between the two of us, or, antagonize his sister. I was thinking today that, when we moved into a new house in 2018, and 2018 was right. Sam had been in his remission for several months, and he looked like a normal kid. And so our neighbors had no idea for the first couple months that we lived there that what Sam had been through up to that point. And there's no reason that they should have. It was amazing. They have a son who's Sam's age, and an older son, and the kids immediately became very close, and we became very close with their family very quickly. And then, I think conversationally, it kind of came up about what we had been going through, and then pretty soon after that, Sam had his relapse, and it was just, I've said before that there's not a family that was kind of more adapted to deal with this than we are. The resources that we had, just a sound and stable marriage in the first place, that wasn't a stressor that we had to worry about. Emmy's godfather is a pediatric oncologist. Maud comes from a school, she comes from a background of helping children with special needs, so she knew occupational therapists and physical therapists and just lots about the world of children who are going through something different. And so, and me being able to work from wherever, whether it's home or hospital rooms or wherever. And I feel like I would never say it was easy, but I feel like, we were being watched after and made as easy as it could be, and that includes our neighbors, the Drurys, and a lot of you guys who are watching this, that if we didn't have y'all, we couldn't have done this. So thank you. But I wanted to talk about, some of the blessings and some of the not so bad stuff, because you can't go through 4 years and have all bad things. Even when you are working through 4 years of a toddler and young child's cancer fight, relapses, side effects, it's not all bad. I'll tell you first, I kind of miss having my shaved head. The fact that I'm mostly symmetrical up here was great. I could get in the shower, soap all over, and I'm done. No shampoo, no conditioner. Never had to worry about it. It was wonderful. That was a nice thing. Oh, and when a doctor rolls in or a nurse rolls in, it would be a nurse at 2 a.m. or something to take care of something for Sam, or a doctor rolls in making rounds at 7 a.m. and I'd been up late with him the night before. No worrying about my bed head sticking up and trying to be taken seriously when I'm having conversation with them. I think Sam liked his too. He did get tired of kids asking about it. Where's your hair? Where's your hair? So he liked it when he didn't have that going on. But through the generosity of a lot of people, we got to do things that we probably wouldn't have gotten to do otherwise. We have, the sporting events that we got to go to, thanks to folks. Front row Stars tickets. We got to sit in a box at the Rangers game. Sam and I were actually guests of the New York Islanders for a game, and got to meet some players after the game. Got to go see Knicks games, Mets games. That I wish that every dad had a chance to do with their son the things that Sam and I got to do together. It makes me really sad that it took him having cancer for us to be able to do those things. Because you want to talk about one-on-one quality time. I mean, we had so much together. The flip side of that coin is when I'm traveling with him and we're, doing things to pass the time and try to keep him happy, and I'll say it, having fun. It's still hard because I know I wasn't with my wife. Sam wasn't with his mom or his sister. So they didn't get to do all those things. So I don't know. Even the blessings there's a flip side to the coin, I guess. But Watching Sam get to go through kindergarten and first grade was a lot of fun. I think I told you guys this story before, but I'll tell it again because it's one of my favorites. You know, he lost his hearing in his right ear from a side effect from some of the chemotherapy, and he had a hearing aid, and it was connected to an FM system. The teacher wore a microphone around her neck so that he could hear clearly when she was talking. And his kindergarten teacher, Miss Morgan, when we had his parent-teacher evaluation or whatever it's called, she was telling us that sometimes they'd leave it on when they went out to the playground, or she'd have it on her, maybe not turned on. But if she saw him doing something, or she saw some friends doing something, she'd put on the FM system and say, "Sam!" And he'd look around to try to see where she was watching him from. You know, little stories like that. And I think there's some stories I've debated on telling you guys, because there are some stories that I think are probably only funny to cancer parents, or parents whose kids have gone through like major medical stuff. Because some of it is just so out there that you don't have a choice but to laugh. And in the end, you laugh at if everybody turned out okay, you laugh at the stories. I remember one time we were in New York, and as usual, we had a couple times where we would try to fly in, get all our stuff done the next day, and then fly out so we could be back with the family. And so those were always like rush days. And one day we were getting, I think it was an MRI, and it needed to be done with contrast. So we had some procedures in the morning, and then we had to rush down to MRI, and they gave Sam a cup of like this clear contrast. I don't know if you guys have ever had to drink this stuff, but like it's kind of thick and viscous, and it does not go down easily. And we told the nurse, hey, we're trying to get going, and she was like, well, okay, you know, as long as he drinks the whole thing and drinks it quickly, he'll probably be fine. Some of you are shaking your heads right now if you ever have had to drink this, because if you drink, you're supposed to sip it over about an hour. You're not supposed to chug it down. I was so proud of him because he literally chugged that entire thing. I think it was like 16 ounces. He chugged the entire thing on the walk from the 6th floor, like elevator ride from the 6th floor to the 2nd floor, and the walk back to MRI. Maybe 10 minutes, maybe. Chugged the whole thing down. And we get back there to the MRI, and no, it was not MRI, it was MIBG. Because the thing on MIBG looks like it's gonna squish him. Like he lays on his back, and the thing comes this close to his face. So he's getting there to lay down. He's like, Dad, my tummy feels funny. And so you gotta go to the bathroom? He's like, no, I think I'm okay. So he's laying there, and I'm sitting in the room. It's like a 45-minute to an hour-long scan. So I'm sitting in the room reading a book. Like 5 minutes into this, he's got this, just imagine like a 4-foot by 4-foot slab of medical equipment 2 inches from his face. And Sam had a specific noise when he was gonna get sick, and he went, and I was like, what? And I looked over there, and he straight up in the air, because he's laying on his back, boosh, right into the thing right in front of him. It's all clear because the contrast was clear. So it wasn't like gross vomit everywhere. But it was vomit. He shot it straight up in the air, and it came back down all over him. And then he was like, he was freaking out. And I was like, turn your head to the side, turn your head. And so and I'm like reaching under this thing and hollering at them to stop the scan. And he turns his head to the side, and the poor kid, the thing that you lay in, the gantry, is like U-shaped. And so he's trying to let this go out the side, and it's hitting the U and coming right back in. This is why, if you ask the cancer parent what's in the backpack, 2 changes of clothes are always in the backpack. 2 changes of clothes. All the way down to 2 pairs of underwear, shorts, t-shirts, dress for the weather, along with 2 iPads, a laptop, sometimes 2 laptops. We didn't usually take the projector on those trips. But yeah, I carried a 40-pound backpack for like 3.5 of those 4 years. I think my shoulders are still a little screwed up from that. But like, you know, there's some people who that story may not be funny. Because it is, you know, it was scary in the moment. But afterwards, even Sam was able to laugh about it, right? After we got him all cleaned up and we talked about it and what had happened and explained it, and he had a chance to talk about how he felt, even he could see how that was funny. There was another one that I was going to tell you guys. Oh. Some of you probably saw the video of, there's a video of Sam, a couple of them actually, on the Facebook group. And when he didn't have hair, he loved sticking all of his suction cup toys to his head. So he was always rocking around, not always, but pretty often he was walking around with hickeys all over his head. Little spots where he'd stuck like an arrow on his head and danced back and forth and made funny sounds. Even he could find the good in what was going on most of the time. So tough, so strong too. They had at the clinic where he used to get all of his, we'd have to go once a week for him to get a port access, maybe get a shot. Sometimes he would need a platelet transfusion or something. And on the days that he always got a treat out of the drawer, but on the days where it was really bad and he'd had a really tough day, or it was a special holiday or something, he got to go to the closet, because the closet was full from bottom to top of like the big good toys. Puzzles, books, some Legos, games, cars. Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't ever talk about this. So Angie, who works at the front desk, every single time Sam walked into that clinic, every single time, he didn't leave without a Matchbox car. I have a suitcase full of Matchbox cars from that, and it's fun because Ben is just now getting old enough that he's discovered those, and so we set up the racetracks and everything, and it's a nice legacy from his brother. It's a nice legacy from his brother that he gets to play with those. And I know that I can almost feel Sam sitting there playing with us. I really can when we do that. Sorry, I thought maybe I'd do the lighter side. I thought maybe I'd make it through without tearing up on y'all. Nope, not this time. Anyway, just a reminder, we've done this, this is 18 times. And so, for those of you who are still with us and still watching these and sharing them, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We're up over $11,000 as of today. I think we know stuff falls off. And all of you who are watching this, you've already given. And so thank you. Our goal for the rest of the month is just to try to find a donation a day. And that comes from getting the message out. So if you're sharing this, or if this was shared with you, share it again for me, please. Let's get it out there to just a few more people. We got about 12 days left in the month. We really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.